What happens when an unstoppable alien conqueror collides with a human who has completely mastered the concept of infinity? Today, we pit the Viltrumite Empire's most ruthless vanguard against the undisputed god of Jujutsu sorcery.
It's Nolan Grayson, the mustachioed meteor of mass murder, taking on Satoru Gojo, the blindfolded king of absolute disrespect.
We will be analyzing their origins, their cataclysmic power scaling, and their tactical flaws to determine who would survive a fatal encounter.
Grab your blast shields, because we're diving straight into the stats. Let's break them down. In the world of anime, there are powerful mentors, and then there are guys who are so broken. The author literally has to write them out of the story just so the plot can happen.
In the realm of cursed spirits and horrific monsters, there exists a single man who acts as the absolute pinnacle of human power. He is the pride of the Gojo clan, a teacher at Tokyo Jujutsu High, and undeniably the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer in the world.
Enter the blindfolded badass himself, Satoru Gojo!
To understand Gojo's overwhelming power, we must look at his birth on the 7th of December 1989. In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, power is heavily dictated by genetics and inherited curse techniques. Satoru was a genetic lottery winner of unprecedented proportions. Satoru was the first member of the Gojo clan in 400 years to be born with both the clan's prized inherited technique, the Limitless, and a rare ocular jujutsu known as the Six Eyes. His mere birth fundamentally shifted the balance of the entire world. Cursed spirits suddenly had to become stronger just to survive the era he was born into.
Imagine being a baby, and you're so insanely overpowered that bounty hunters and assassins literally retire because they feel your aura from miles away.
Let's break down his core technique, the Limitless. At its base level, it brings the mathematical concept of infinity into reality. To put it simply, it acts as an absolute defense.
Here comes the nerd talk. Give it to him.
It is essentially the Achilles and the tortoise paradox. Any attack approaching Gojo does not actually stop. Rather, the space between the attack and Gojo is divided infinitely. As the object gets closer, it perpetually slows down, never actually making contact.
Translation: you can't touch this, but he's not just a walking shield. When he pumps cursed energy into the Limitless, he creates blue, a sphere of amplified attraction. It's basically a localized black hole that crushes everything into a single point.
Conversely, by using reverse curse technique, which multiplies negative cursed energy to create positive energy, he creates red. This is a devastating repelling force with twice the destructive output of blue.
And what happens when you smash a super magnet and a super repulsor together? You get the ultimate delete button, Hollow Technique Purple. He merges red and blue to create a wave of imaginary mass that literally tears through matter at the atomic level, erasing anything in its path. I need one of these for traffic!
All of this is made possible by the Six Eyes. This ocular trait allows Gojo to process information at an atomic level and reduces his cursed energy consumption to infinitesimally close to zero. He will never, ever run out of energy in a fight.
And we haven't even talked about his domain expansion, Unlimited Void. He traps you in a barrier and forces infinite knowledge directly into your brain. You see and feel everything in the universe at once, paralyzing you completely while your brain slowly fries.
Gojo's feats of strength and speed are staggering. Through the mastery of the Six Eyes, he keeps his infinity active 24/7 automatically, while continuously using reverse curse technique to heal his brain, so it doesn't burn out from the constant processing.
Yeah, the dude is basically running a supercomputer in his skull while taking a nap. Remember Shibuya? He was trapped underground with hundreds of transfigured humans. To avoid killing regular civilians, he activated his domain expansion for exactly 0.2 seconds. In that microscopic fraction of a second, he paralyzed everyone, then manually slaughtered exactly 1,000 monsters in 299 seconds.
He is also capable of instantaneous teleportation by compressing space via the Limitless. During his fight against Ryomen Sukuna, the King of Curses, Gojo survived Sukuna's own domain expansion, which unleashes a relentless barrage of invisible building slicing cleaves by simply out-healing the damage with his reverse curse technique while engaging in hand-to-hand combat. Despite his godlike status, Satoru Gojo is not invincible. His primary weakness is psychological, his arrogance, and his humanity. He holds back significantly when innocent civilians are nearby to prevent collateral damage, which villains have exploited repeatedly.
Yeah, having a heart in an anime is a fatal flaw, kids.
Tactically, the Limitless can be bypassed. Specialized curse tools, like the Inverted Spear of Heaven, can nullify his technique upon contact. Furthermore, domain expansions with guaranteed hit effects can bypass infinity, as can specific techniques that target the very fabric of space itself, rather than targeting Gojo directly. Satoru Gojo is a paradigm-shifting anomaly. His flawless defense, devastating offensive toolkit, and limitless energy reserves make him an absolute terror on the battlefield.
He is cocky, he is chaotic, and he has got the raw, terrifying power to back up every single word he says. He is the undisputed GOAT of Jujutsu.
天上天下唯我独尊
The Superman archetype is a staple of modern fiction. An alien from a distant world, possessing godlike power, comes to Earth to act as its ultimate protector. But what happens when that godlike power isn't here to save us, but to conquer us?
You get a walking, talking extinction event with the most glorious mustache in the galaxy. It is Omni-Man.
Meet Nolan Grayson. To the people of Earth, he was Omni-Man, the planet's greatest superhero, a loving husband, and a dedicated father. But beneath that benevolent facade lay the vanguard of a ruthless alien empire. Nolan hails from the planet Viltrum, a world that took the concept of survival of the fittest to its most terrifying extreme. The Viltrumites engaged in a brutal, planet-wide civil war, systematically slaughtering the weak until only the absolute strongest remained.
Talk about aggressive downsizing. They basically turned their entire gene pool into a VIP club for mass murderers.
Having established a utopian society of flawless, unyielding warriors, the Viltrumite Empire expanded across the cosmos. Their method of conquest was terrifyingly efficient. Send a single operative to a planet, allow them to blend in, weaken its defenses from the inside, and prepare it for assimilation.
And Nolan was the employee of the month. He spent 20 years playing the perfect Boy Scout on Earth, waiting for the exact right moment to turn the planet's protectors into absolute red paste. Spoiler alert, he wasn't actually here to stop the asteroid, folks. He was the asteroid. Okay, usually this is where I start drooling over laser cannons and rocket launchers, but Nolan doesn't use any of that. Why? Because he is the weapon. Who needs a nuke when your fists hit like a meteor strike?
Exactly. Omni-Man relies entirely on his Viltrumite physiology. He possesses immeasurable superhuman strength, speed, stamina, and near invulnerability. His body is sustained by a complex system of smart atoms, which make Viltrumites highly resistant to physical damage, disease, and toxins, while also allowing them to manipulate their own inertia to fly.
And when we say fly, we don't mean hovering around saving cats from trees. He can fly through the vacuum of space, hold his breath for weeks, and use his own body like a supersonic battering ram.
His healing factor is also incredibly potent. While not instantaneous like some comic book characters, a Viltrumite can recover from having their intestines ripped out or their spine crushed, provided their heart and brain remain relatively intact. He also ages at a decelerated rate. The older he gets, the slower he ages, allowing him to live for thousands of years.
He is an immortal meat missile that can punch a hole through your chest before your brain even registers he moved.
Nolan's feats of raw power are nothing short of cataclysmic. When Earth was invaded by the Flaxans, an alien race from another dimension, Nolan didn't just push them back, he flew through their portal and single-handedly decimated their entire civilization.
Decimated is putting it lightly. The guy flew around their planet so fast that the sheer kinetic friction and shockwaves ignited the atmosphere and leveled cities. He literally became a localized apocalyptic event just to send a message.
Back on Earth, his speed and reaction times are equally absurd. He was able to track and catch Red Rush, a speedster who operates so fast that normal human conversations feel like hours to him. Nolan caught his punch and crushed his skull with his bare hands. Furthermore, he claimed to have successfully diverted an asteroid the size of Texas.
And let's not forget the Guardians of the Globe, Earth's version of the Justice League. He ambushed them and turned them into a modern art masterpiece using nothing but his bare hands. Sure, he took some damage, but he wiped out the planet's 7 strongest heroes in a matter of minutes.
While seemingly invincible, Viltrumites do possess exploitable biological flaws. Their ability to fly and balance is deeply tied to their highly sensitive inner ear. Emitting a specific intensely high frequency can severely disrupt their equilibrium, causing agonizing pain and rendering them vulnerable.
So you're telling me the ultimate weapon in the universe can be brought down by the world's most annoying dog whistle? That is hilarious!
It is a rare vulnerability, but a fatal one if exploited correctly. Furthermore, while they can survive the vacuum of space, they are not immune to extreme, localized thermal energy. Sustained exposure to temperatures equivalent to the surface of a star or intense plasma beams can burn through their dense tissue, But his most prominent weakness was psychological.
Here we go. The feelings.
Exactly. Despite his conditioning, his 20 years on Earth changed him. His genuine love for his human wife Debbie and his half-Viltrumite son Mark compromised his mission. When forced to kill Mark, he couldn't do it, ultimately abandoning his post and fleeing the planet. Omni-Man is a horrifying subversion of the superhero mythos. He possesses the power to save worlds, but the conditioning to systematically break them apart, his speed, brutality, and thousands of years of combat experience make him a nearly unstoppable force of nature.
He'll rip you in half, wipe out your entire species, and still make it home in time for family dinner. You don't fight Omni-Man. You just hope he decides you aren't worth the effort.
He is a conqueror who realized the true cost of his empire, but only after leaving a trail of oceans of blood in his wake.
Why did you make me do this?
We have examined the data, run the calculations, and analyzed every piece of lore. We've scaled the raw apocalyptic speed and strength of Omni-Man against the infinite complexities and hacks abilities of Gojo's Limitless.
We've looked at every crushed skull, every hollow purple, and every drop of blood. The lab work is done, the talking is over, and now it is time to test these theories in the field. It is time to light the fuse. Let the fight begin.